I'd like to welcome you guys on the tour of backstage area for Knott's, and we're here at our first stop. This is Warehouse B, also known as the production warehouse. This is where you guys are going to be coming to pick up your wardrobe every night, as well as checking in with your time card coordinators.
Hi, I'm Tim Klega. I'm an entertainment supervisor here at Knott's Berry Farm, and this is my 10th haunt.
My name is Craig Harold. I'm area manager of park shows. I manage the street talent, and this is my 26th year. Well, I started off as a street monster back in, I started back in '83, somewhere around in there. I was actually working out in Ghost Town as a street monster, and then I kind of progressed into being an icon character that was in the hanging and did a lot of promos and so forth. I was the Catman Sheriff, and realized that wasn't going to go on for the rest of my life, so I got into shift leading, and then I became actually a full-time employee here in 1994.
So how are you going to be training them, the talent for these rides, or for these mazes?
Well, it's 6 or 7 nights of training, not for each one individually, but to train the entire farm for the entire event. And basically it is giving them guidance on how to get into character, how to stay true to that character, and how to maintain that character safely to scare our guests, as well as to maintain it for all 28 nights of Halloween Haunt.
Examples of what kinds of tips you give them when they're in the mazes?
Well, there's many different types of scares. Basically, first thing we do is we have them get in touch with their darker sides. To be here at Halloween Haunt and to be here at Knott's Scary Farm, everyone who works here must get in touch with their darker side, and even the guests coming in actually get in touch with their darker sides, because you have to have a demented sort of way about yourself to want to come to an event where there's almost 2,000 monsters running around scaring you throughout the entire event.
And every maze is not always the scary maze. There's some mazes that we have here that are like the Labyrinth. It's more fantasy, it's more mythical, and so that kind of, we have that kind of maze. Then we have Slaughterhouse, which is all the blood, guts, and gore. It's chopping up people and making them into hamburger meat and prime rib, and so each maze has its own creation of characters, and so we take that and we break it down, and we train them in that sense of manner. Who's on the street that's running around? These three for the log, right?
Yep.
Okay, you guys got the whole queue line. You're running up and down the queue line. Who's at the exit of the mine ride? Over here?
Nice.
Coming down and then at the exit. Great scares at that location. Okay, you guys have a little bit more freedom than the rest of you. Okay, so the rest of you, you're kind of in a spot. Mine ride, you're tethered in. We don't want you to be safe. We want to make sure you're locked in there, because we don't want you to be like coming out with the train, parts of you, okay? But you're real far away from the boat. So it's moving. It's a body movement. It's all a body movement, and reset. And then again, you're going to be tethered in. You're going to have a harness on you.
You guys want to just kind of blend in with the rest of them. You want the guests to think, is that guy real or is that guy fake? Is he part of the monster or is he a mannequin? So you want kind of like confusion, that kind of puts them over scare.
Same with the hillbilly in the rocking chair, and
It seems that locals have been using toxic waste to make their innovation, and now the lethal fumes are turning everyone, including the firefighters, into murderous mutants. So it kind of gives you the story behind what you guys are doing.
Right. Throughout the log ride, there's going to be little platforms that should be stepped out onto. Some of them will have foot pedals with lights on them. I'd say be looking at, this is one maze that you can definitely use shaker cans, which we will have shaker cans for you. Shaker can alone, as people are going by, the scare factor is the startle. It's the shaker can. Whistles. Get whistles. Buy those school whistles, not those plastic ones, but ones with that are. There you go. Metal. Scare the crap out of them. Anything that you can get approved noisemakers, because I tell you, don't spend a lot of money on expensive props, because they're gone. They're here and gone. They're here and gone. It's just hit and miss, hit and miss, hit and miss.
Whistles
You
are
got a
like
prop.
5 to
You
6
got-
bucks.
That's your prop? Oh, it's his prop.
Yeah, that's Fluffy.
Okay, that's Fluffy. Okay, because you're on the ground. You can use
Yep.
it. But just the whole idea is the scare, the hit, the miss, the hit, the miss, and sometimes you're going to miss a log. It's going to happen.
I do noises.
Well, to make noises. Each one of you is. That would be nice if they did that in the mountain, but they won't do that in the mountain. They'll all go there.
So, tell me about Scare Force. What do you guys do?
Well, Scare Force is a group of, last year we were 20, now we're a little bit larger, I believe. But we're like the elite maze monsters. All work mazes at least a few years. We know how to make a scare, and we know how to show somebody else how to do it.
How do you actually teach somebody how to be scary?
Well, you can just kind of see someone if they're shy or if they don't really know what they're doing. You don't really want to force yourself too much on them. Just give them hints of past experience and if they're doing something wrong or seeing a way that they could possibly get hurt the way they're scaring you, just try to teach them a safer way to do it.
So, what are some quick tips like on scaring? Like how do you get some of the best scares in a maze?
Surprise.
Yeah, surprise.
Surprise is the biggest one. That's the number one thing. You want to surprise the person. And like you said, pop-out scares is really one of the best scares out. That's coming out of a curtain, a door, behind a box.
Being a mannequin.
Yeah. Acting like you're a statue. And just be still until they're there and then make a move on them.
And they were with their dates. And their dates were all standing around looking at them, just going, "What are you doing? Get up!" And they didn't, it's like, you can play with people. The person that looks at you, that's the one you go after. If you make eye contact with any of them, that's the one you want to get, because that's the one you can tell. There's fear.
Right.
There's fear coming from that person. You can smell it. It's like, okay, that's the one I want to mess with. My big thing is I like chasing them out of the maze. I mean, I'll take them from the very front and take them all the way out.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, I've done it many a time.